Hey guys, what is going on? I hope you're all having a great day today because today we have another response video to make, and that is to a video that kind of debates the whole gaming crash and the decline of quality in gaming. I thought it was a pretty interesting video and I wanted to make a response to it, so here we go. The video is called Gaming Ain't Dead, It's Better Than Ever, and it comes from Mouse Wrist Games, so let's go ahead and hear him out.
How many more videos do we need about how cooked the gaming industry is? AAA is dead, games are trash, microtransactions ate my grandma. Yeah, we get it. Layoffs everywhere, $70 games, buggy releases, and more monetization schemes in a mobile casino. But I'm not here to tell you that everything sucks. I'm here to tell you we might actually be in the golden age of gaming.
If we are in the golden age of gaming right now, then how come we have so many layoffs of big AAA titans in the gaming industry? And how come we have so many remakes? Why would the industry feel the need to remake older titles if this was the golden age, and today's titles were like the gold standard? Also, if this was the golden age, then why are so many people dissatisfied with modern gaming at the moment? And why are hardware sales this November the lowest they've been in like 30-something years? IGN published an article back in December saying video game physical software and hardware sales just had the worst November in the US since 1995. If we were truly in a golden age, we would not be seeing this shit.
Yep, I said it. Let's talk. Let me take you back. It's 1980, then television drops at a cool $300. That's $1,200 in today's money to play this. By 1985, the Nintendo Entertainment System hit shelves for what would be $534 today, but games? $90 to $150 each, adjusted for inflation. So when people rage about $70 games today, I get it, but games have always been pricey.
This is true, but games were more expensive back then because you actually had to spend a lot of that money on your game on the cartridge itself. Also back then, gaming wasn't as popular, so your game wouldn't sell as many units as a lot of the big games today, meaning you would make less money off of your game. Also, another thing to note is that everything was less expensive back then, so you could justify spending more money on gaming. The price of everything else around gaming has skyrocketed since the 1990s, so people just have less money to spend on luxury products. Here's a little chart of rent price versus family income from 1950 to 2025. Back then, spending $150 on a video game wasn't as big of a deal because, just look at the chart. It speaks for itself. It's also worth noting back then when you bought your game, you actually owned it and you got all the content in it. There was no day one DLC or anything like that that may have made you pay extra money.
And what do we get now? Back then, $150 for a tiny pixel blob jumping over another blob. Today, $60 for this. That's not bad. In fact, that's magic.
The only problem with that clip that you just decided to show is that it's not even gameplay, so why show it? And I could make a whole video on how gaming nowadays is less gameplay focused and it's way too cutscene focused, but I'll leave that for another video. When I boot up a new game and 60% of it is cutscenes and then you sprinkle in walk and talk segments, I question why I'm even playing it in the first place and not watching a playthrough on YouTube.
Back in the day, if a game launched broken, too bad. That glitch in level 3, that was just part of the game now. Forever. You could write a letter to the publisher, sure, but good luck getting a reply. Or even having your letter actually arrive in Japan.
Now here's a point I will absolutely agree with him on. The ability to patch games nowadays is a very nice thing to have, and it's definitely one of the upsides to modern gaming. But it's kind of a double-edged sword because so many games nowadays release completely broken and the devs will come out and say, oh well, we'll fix it later. But overall I do think it's a positive.
Today, Discord servers, live dev chats, patches, hotfixes, community updates. Some games release broken, sure, but they actually get fixed now. And in many cases, they get better. I'm looking at you, Cyberpunk.
I don't know about that one, man. I watched a streamer known as Griffin Gaming play Cyberpunk on his brand new 5090 PC, and the game caused his computer to blue screen. It's the only game that ever did it to his PC, by the way.
Stardew Valley launched in 2016. It's still getting free updates 9 years later. Minecraft had how many updates? And Kenshi? What about Terraria? These are the games that shape the future, not AAA, because they're the ones that embody the true spirit, passion, and love that makes games great.
Minecraft is AAA, bro. It's owned by Microsoft.
AAA studios are a mess. They burn out developers, lay them off the second the game ships, and build games by committee with a spreadsheet in one hand and a focus group in the other.
Yes, and AAA is where the majority of money and players are in the gaming industry. If AAA goes belly up, we're kinda fucked. We can like indie games as much as we want. It's not going to change the fact that a lot of normies are only playing shit like COD and FIFA, and once those franchises go, they go with it. They don't care about gaming that much. Most casual gamers are not gonna sift through the sea of indie games to try to find something that they like. They're simply going to move on to another hobby like movies or books or whatever.
In the 2020s and up to today, that greed became unreal. Titles and directions are decided by suits in a boardroom, not passionate gamers. It's all about seed capital, exits, and excess cash, lavish lives, and gigantic profit margins. The passion is gone. It's over, right? Not quite. You know who isn't run by corporate suits? Indies, small teams, passion projects. This year alone, we've had banger after banger. Clair Obscur Expedition 33 is like a dream painted by a team of angels. A turn-based game that feels faster than most action titles, and busts the old myth that turn-based is dead.
I do think Expedition 33 is a good game, but at the same time, that is not an indie game in the slightest. The game had tons of outsourcing, a budget of around $10 million at the minimum, and hundreds of people working on it. What independent developer has access to all of that? In reality, it's a AA game.
Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, the you are poor, tired, and everyone hates you simulator is back and more immersive than ever. This game is gorgeous. The Precinct just dropped a few days before recording this, the best cop simulator I've ever played, from a small indie team. Schedule 1? I mean, if you haven't heard about this game, you should probably leave your cave sometimes. It's cheap, addictive, and already has hundreds of thousands with countless hours in the game. And there's another game I'm playing right now that I'm not allowed to talk about yet, but it's yet another fantastic game from a small team that has me absolutely hooked. All of these under $50, some of them under $20.
I do agree that Schedule 1 is a really cool game, and I want to try it sometime soon, but bringing up a few breakout success games doesn't change the fact that the AAA industry is struggling, and AAA is where most of the money and players are.
And they offer hours, dozens of hours of gameplay. Expedition 33 might be the best game in generations.
Yeah, Expedition 33 in my opinion is cool and all, but I definitely don't think it's the best game in generations.
And the worst part of all of this is you can't play them all unless you're chronically unemployed. And if you are, well, hey, at least you have time to game. A dying industry doesn't produce gems like these. A dying industry produces slop.
Not really. A dying industry can still produce good stuff now and then, and the overall quality be going downhill. Just because there's a few breakout successes doesn't mean the industry isn't struggling.
Of which there is plenty, but the passion lives on. And we'll keep getting bangers like these, and they will always stand out. Let me rewind for a second. The first time I really fell in love with gaming was when I got my PlayStation. I always loved gaming before then, but the PS1 really showed us all the true potential of gaming. I remember firing up Final Fantasy VII, to this day the greatest game ever made.
Okay, kinda based, I'll admit.
In my humble opinion. But wait a sec. Is this really what it looked like? Yeah, the story is mind-blowing. The characters, the world, the music, the passion just oozes from every screen. But let's be real. By modern standards, this is all mostly nostalgia. The blocky graphics, the turn-based battles, the clunky UI. We remember it as perfect because of what it meant to us, not because it was flawless.
Wait, you're dissing turn-based battles, but you hyped up Expedition 33 earlier? Just a little inconsistency that I thought was kinda funny.
And that's true for so many old games and gamers who claim that the 80s or 90s or even 2010s was the golden age of gaming.
I believe that the early 2000s to about 2016 were the golden ages of gaming. You had the best era of Call of Duty games. You had Skyrim, you had Ninja Gaiden 1 and 2. You had shit like The Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, Mario Galaxy 1 and 2. You had the Gears of War games, Halo, Half-Life 2. I could keep listing off games, but you guys get the idea. From the years of like 2001, 2002 to 2016, we had so many classic games, and we just don't get classics that good anymore. And a lot of the franchises that were titans through this time are now just ashes of what they used to be. Look at franchises like Gears of War, Halo, The Elder Scrolls. We haven't got a game since 2013 in that series. We haven't got a 3D Mario since 2017. A lot of these franchises that were titans either don't make games as often anymore because games take so long to make, or the new games that come out just suck. Look at Obsidian, man. They went from putting out just classics to putting out garbage.
Police Quest 1, a masterpiece. If you're okay with typing look body 900 times. Mario, an icon, a legend, but not an award winner by today's standards. Morrowind, boy, that's aged badly. We loved these games because we had nothing else. Back then we were thrilled to play whatever we got. Simplistic, mind-numbing, repetitive, that was just the deal. Today, we want deep mechanics, rich stories, balanced combat, gorgeous visuals, seamless UI updates, post-launch support, no bugs, and ideally all of this for under $20.
I don't even expect all of that. I just expect a fun game that looks good. It doesn't need to look photorealistic. With a coherent story, it doesn't even have to be deep, and I don't even mind paying $60 for it. But a lot of games, like Avowed for example, that come from beloved studios can't even meet that.
But that's not entitlement, that's just evolution. Our standards have risen, and games have risen with us. And here's the real kicker, even today, it's not about next-gen graphics or ray tracing or AI-driven NPCs. It's about fun. Dave the Diver doesn't have ultra-realistic lighting and next-gen 451 Cybertronic ray tracing or whatever the hell. But it's one of the most fun games I've played in years. The gameplay loop is tight, it's joyful, and that's what matters. The pixel art is gorgeous, I'll admit, but it's not Unreal's latest true-to-life graphics. And we keep getting these amazing games from small studios. Golden age, I tell you.
You know, I don't want to diss Dave the Diver too bad because I've never played it, but let's not pretend like games like, let's say, Dave the Diver is saving the gaming industry from the state that it's in right now. Like, let's be a little bit realistic here. It looks cool and all, but it's very niche, and a lot of people, if you show them this game with these pixel graphics, they're just going to immediately say no thanks.
Here's another thing that no one talks about. We're not just buying games anymore, we're shaping them. Got a suggestion? There's a good chance the devs are actually listening.
Some studios will listen, others will actually insult you on Twitter for daring to suggest, for example, that the performance sucks. I'm looking at you, Borderlands.
Post a bug on Discord, it's patched in a week. Suggest a feature, it might show up in the next update. In Baldur's Gate 3, fans pushed Larian to improve endings, and they did. That kind of feedback loop didn't exist 10 years ago. Today, it's normal. We are co-creating the games we love. How cool is that? I've recently played Once Human again, and it's barely recognizable. There are nightmare silos now, a lunar eclipse every night, gameplay tweaks, and so much extra stuff. It's really growing as a game. On top of this, we have mods now. So any game you buy can potentially be improved by the community.
I do think in terms of mods, we are in a golden age because there are so many cool mods for games that completely change the game and make them so much more replayable. So I will agree with this point. But yeah, that's the end of today's video. I don't think it was a terrible video overall. There's definitely a few points that I disagreed with. But yeah, man, let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. And yeah, I'm out, guys.